Empire State Building.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Z100 Artist Interview Lounge. Joe Keery is in the building.
Hey, thank you for having me.
Hey, man. No,
Of
thanks for
course.
being here, Joe.
I mean, first of all, you made our job so hard because when I was first explaining your song here on the new hit list and on Z100, I'm like, okay, DJ Ode Joe. And then I saw some of your performances. You're like, hi, I'm Joe.
I'm Joe.
Yeah, I am.
You decided to make it like the most difficult way to spell your name.
I did. Yeah. It was a decision that I made. I uploaded the music, the first album, through AWOL, and it was like at the time, it was they just helped you get your music on streaming services, and I'd kind of gone back and forth on what I wanted the artist's name to be, and I think I decided at about like 11 o'clock at night before I uploaded it. So it was a very last minute decision that I'm living with. So.
Do people think you're a DJ though?
Yeah, definitely. It's hard for you guys. Think about it. It's hard for me. Think about how hard it is for me,
dude.
I'm living with the mistake.
I know, right?
Yeah.
But no, we have so many things to celebrate. Obviously, your song that's just crushing it right now, End of Beginning. Congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel that so many people are connecting to it?
Feels awesome. Yeah, it feels really cool. Also to be sitting here, I didn't think that this song that I released, a year and a half ago would have this sort of impact right now.
Yeah.
And it's just, I guess, like the power of music that sometimes things connect and they just take on a life of their own.
And that's part of what we were talking about before we started rolling on the convo, man, is that now is the time for this particular record. And now it's allowing so many fans of this song dig into your library. I mean, you've been doing music for a while, and now you're finding people connecting to other sounds. This P-Funk, I mean, you got, excuse me, you got sounds that'll make like George Clinton feel, you know what I'm saying?
Wow.
It's funky, man.
Thank you.
To have folks really discover this side of Joe. How does that feel?
Yeah, it feels great. I'm a guy who's really a fan of a lot of different music, and I like really eclectic albums, and so that's something that I tried to do. And so it's funny, this song kind of catching a little wave right now. I don't really think there are a lot of others, there are other tracks that sound like it, but there's sort of a wide variety on the record. So it will be interesting to see kind of how people do connect with some of this other stuff, what happens.
They're going to dig it. They're going to love it. It's who you are.
That's
you know
nice
what I mean? And
thanks.
and it's really, truly what music is supposed to do. It's meant to connect. And now, that's what we are proving. You've got a song that you said you never would have thought would have been on a station like Z100, and here it is.
Yeah, I know. It's great. It's crazy.
I mean, has it resonated with you that this is the #1 stream song in the world within the past few days?
No, not at all. I can't even really it's difficult to conceptualize.
Trying to put
It's
words
like,
together. You can't.
yeah, you look at the number and you're just sort of like, really?
Yeah.
Nah, someone's joking me.
No.
Yeah, I kind of.
And it's also so cool to see you conquer like 2 different avenues. I mean,
Yeah.
my family doesn't really get that quaked when people come in, but I told them you were coming. They're like, no way.
Oh, that's cool.
So many fans from Stranger Things,
Yeah.
and now you're really doing it in the music space. What's that dichotomy like?
Yeah, it's been kind of cool. I mean, for the past 9 years since I've been doing the show, when people have come up to me, they've said, "Oh my gosh, you're Steve from the show," and that's so cool. And it kind of has been crazy, a crazy change in my life. And now, kind of in the past month, really, people have been like, "Oh, I love your song, man," and so that's really cool because it's something that I wrote. Obviously, I'm a part of the show and. But it really is different to kind of write something and pour your heart and soul into something, and then to have people connect with it and then kind of recognize you for it. It's really cool. Yeah.
Do you wish though that obviously we know the love and the ode to Chicago, but do you wish maybe you put your home to Boston? You wish maybe you would have showed them some love in this song,
It's funny.
so it could be even truer to who you are.
Well, it's really. I know it sounds like it's a song that's kind of like ode to your city.
Yeah.
But what it really is for me, it's like an ode to a certain time in my life. And in that time in my life, in my early 20s, that's where I lived. And it played such a huge part in who I was. And especially when I was writing the record when I was 27, 28, 29, that's when I was kind of looking back to to that time, kind of a simpler time in my life before I kind of had entered the business. I was just making music with my friends. I was waiting tables and trying to like make it. And that's what it really symbolizes for me.
That's what it feels like in the heart.
Yeah, for me. That it doesn't take away from Boston. It's funny that you say that. I have a song right now that I'm working on that is kind of about Boston, but now I'm like,
Boston.
I can't.
Don't worry, he's coming for you, y'all.
I can't
there
write
will
a song.
be one for you.
And then I'll write a song about Houston, and then New York, and
The Bay, please.
the Bay. Yeah.
You're bringing all the cities.
I want to touch on the fact that you said you used to be a server at a restaurant.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
used to be a server too, and I feel like
bro.
so many
Yes.
people,
You
thank
people.
you,
I'm
should
amongst
get
my
into that
people.
industry to have more love.
Can't you tell? I feel like I can tell when people have worked a restaurant job. I think it's just, I don't know. There's something about the community of working at a restaurant, and you can tell when people are a customer if they've worked at a restaurant or not, because sometimes people are like, ketchup,
And it's like,
instead
oh, you
of-
never had someone snap at
you've
you.
never had
That's
exactly.
crazy.
And I think it's just like a good, I don't know. Yeah, it's a good thing.
And
for
also,
everyone.
you have such good and bad days working in restaurants. Like,
Yeah.
I've had some of the most nightmare things happen to me.
I still have nightmares about being
What
like, I
happened?
forgot table 37.
Oh my
Oh
God.
fuck! Excuse me. Sorry.
They asked for no bacon.
Mm-hmm. Or like a nut allergy.
Yeah, dude.
Like I didn't ask about like a nut. I had like things where you go to a table and you spill their soup all over them, or you forget them, or you just get tipped horribly, or I
Or
don't
you
know.
tipped well. I remember one day
It
I was
builds
like,
character.
damn.
Oh yeah, I mean that's amazing when that does happen.
Now I'm
Yeah.
starting to understand why you were performing in wigs and in disguise, because you
Yeah.
didn't want those customers to figure
Come
out.
after me.
See, now it all makes sense,
Exactly.
Joe. Now it all makes sense.
Because I
bro.
can't live that down. Because I can't live it down.
Well, back to the music. No, obviously, your song has been able to lead you to stages like Lollapalooza last
Right.
year,
Yeah.
and you were on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon.
Mhm.
And like you mentioned already, this is because of art that you're making yourself.
Yeah.
So how cool that you're able to do those accolades now.
Definitely, especially with like Lollapalooza, that was a real full circle moment. And that was like the first time that we played that song. Well, I guess not technically the first time that we played it live, but
Yeah.
it was kind of the first real big stage because we didn't really get to tour that album. So yeah, I mean, to be playing a stage like that in Millennium Park and you're looking out, there's a massive sea of
Nuts,
people.
right?
I had like, I know about that festival obviously because I lived in the city, and it's funny, I'd never actually been to that festival before. I was always, I don't know, out of town or working or whatever. And
The first time you're there, you're on
I'm
stage
playing
singing
this.
to
It's
Chicago.
crazy. Yeah, it was really crazy.
Those moments, man. The fact that you get to own them, the fact that you get to write more stories based off of those experiences.
Yeah.
As a creator, as a songwriter, and then when you get out there and you see the sea of people really adore and appreciate, as we did mention a little bit ago in this convo, like your craft. It's like the Stranger Things. You're playing something that somebody else has written, but now you are really diving into who you are, and people are sticking to that, man. As a songwriter, how fulfilling is that?
Super fulfilling. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard. Yeah, it's great. It's and I feel like I'm kind of, I don't know, there have been like a core dedicated group of fans really who have listened to the music before all this,
Mm-hmm.
and already that was really kind of, I don't know, I feel like the music was kind of niche, and so these people kind of hooked into it, and I've always been so appreciative that it's kind of found, I feel like it's found a little home base. And so now just kind of the larger exposure is exciting, and kind of, it is a little nerve-wracking, but at the end of the day, it's just cool that I can pursue this line of work, I guess. And I've always just wanted to like be able to support myself doing something like
So
this.
dope. Such a dope energy,
Yeah.
And
man.
have you got the chance yet to hear your song on the radio? Do you remember that
I
first
did.
time?
I did. Yeah, I was listening to it in an Uber in LA. I was just taking an Uber, and
Happens.
Who were you
I
with?
just the Uber driver.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sweet.
yeah. I said, "Oh," and that was it.
You
That's
didn't
all I
tell
said.
the Uber driver it was your song?
What was I gonna say?
Yeah.
Hey,
I
bro,
can't
that's my song
I'm
on
not
the
gonna
radio, by the way.
brag. Yeah.
But did
It
you-
ended. And I said, "Hey, that was my song."
Did you text anyone?
Yeah, you hit some.
You,
Oh,
Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Nick.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what it is, man.
Yeah, it was cool.
Wow.
It was
Hey, if
That's
you
cool.
were
so
to,
awesome.
I want to throw a random two words at you, and,
Yeah.
and let's go back to Post Animal.
Yeah, yeah.
Man, if you were to tell, your guys, your buddies, your brothers, you know
Yeah.
what I mean, that you would be able to, to grow the sound, to grow what it meant to be there in Chicago, for the world. What do you think that they would say, or have you had that conversation with your family and friends about, yo, man, like we get to pursue, right? I get to help pursue this,
Yeah.
this thing with my heart.
You're right. Those guys are my brothers, and we're still making music. We
Yeah.
still hang out. That was the community kind of that
Yep.
I left, and a lot of that song is really about that because
Yeah.
those guys are kind of my Chicago.
Mhm.
That's like they represent that for me. So, the song is kind of in a way dedicated to them and just the whole scene. And yeah, I don't know. In a way, I feel like I get to experience it sort of with them, and it's just cool. It's just really cool.
It's just cool.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's just really
It's
cool.
just-
And
for sure.
I feel like without that scene, I don't think I would have had the tools that I have, or kind of also the confidence maybe in music
Yeah.
that I have. So it's really like a hats off to the Chicago music scene. Like, what a cool place. And I've never lived in another city. I mean, I've also never been kind of that age in another city, but I haven't been in another place that felt very exciting.
Yeah.
And very supportive and collaborative being there.
And the fact that we cannot scroll through TikTok without hearing the sound
Now that's
of people.
people are gonna get sick of it.
No, I was.
They're gonna be, yeah.
I pulled this comment. Please stop appearing on my TikTok before you played.
Yeah. I'm
No,
sorry.
but the trend is so cute
I'm
because it's
sorry.
like no.
It's not me. I'm not doing it.
Yeah,
It's
not me.
Yeah,
you.
matter of fact, you're not
Not
really on
me.
social media.
Not me.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. I also saw another comment. I want you to say if this is true or not.
Yeah.
If you guys go to Stranger Things season 4, episode 7 at timestamp 1 hour and 14:49 seconds, you can see Joe wearing his merch.
I'm wearing my merch. Oh no, I think what they're talking about is in the show I wear this jean cut off vest that Joe Quinn's character gives to me. And it's a Dio vest. So do your research, people.
Uh-oh.
Joe is not Dio.
Debunked.
Debunked.
Okay.
Check out Dio. You
All
will
right.
not be disappointed.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
That's cool. Well,
All
you
right.
knew what they were talking about, though.
Yeah.
This has been
yeah.
brought up, too.
Because I actually do remember looking at the jacket and being like, oh, I'm going to steal that logo.
Okay.
No,
Hey.
Dude,
Okay,
go
definitely
with
debunked.
it. Oh my
But
God.
no,
All
yeah,
right.
you're not on. But how cool is it to know that it's like one of the biggest trending sounds, and that people are really resonating on TikTok and making like these really cool videos off of your song.
Yeah. Insane. Crazy. Don't know how it has kind of come to this, but here we are. Now we're sitting here.
Here's the thing that in read this not too long ago. It's kind of there was a connection to Steve Lacy. I heard it. Just knowing like that were
Oh,
fans
yeah.
pulling up to his particular show just to hear that 30-second hook that they knew. You know what I mean? Because of his massive. I mean, gosh, man, and he's such an artist
Yeah.
as well. And you kind of connected like, man, I'm hoping that folks go a little bit deeper than 30 seconds into this record.
Yeah, it's kind of like an interesting sort of situation I feel like that we're in. Well, first of all, hats off to Steve Lacy. I've met him
Yeah.
a few times. That guy is
Isn't he the-
amazing.
We
His
got to do the interview with him a
music
while ago.
amazing.
He is so
Yeah, he's
dope.
just like an artist and a
Yes.
cool guy.
Yeah,
and
really good at Guitar Hero. Apparently, he told us too. He loves. If you guys ever meet again, he is a Guitar Hero gangster. So just put
Okay.
that out.
He should play my
Before
sister. My sister's really good.
Hey.
Uh-oh.
Ciao.
Face off.
Face off.
1v1.
Lizzie versus Steve. But yeah, it is kind of an interesting. I was just talking about this with some friends the other night because we were talking about how people consume TV and
Yeah.
movies and stuff, and it is becoming kind of shorter form. And I think the same thing is happening with music. And I don't know if it's a bad thing, but I don't really know what it means for like the future of songwriting, I guess,
Yeah.
because for the past 100 years, songs are these 2 to 4 or 5 minute things that you kind of sit on board and you take the whole thing in.
Go for the ride.
And so it is kind of interesting to think about what is kind of the short form version of a song. And I don't know. It is kind of you could view it as a bad thing that people are just listening to this one chunk over and over, but you could also view it as an opportunity, I guess. And that's something that I was interested in exploring, especially on this last record. There are a lot of really short songs, and that was me kind of exploring with that. Why don't we just consolidate the song into the like the smallest thing it can possibly be,
Yeah.
the punchiest thing it can possibly be, and stuff it filled with all these sounds and textures and whatnot. Yeah, I think it just really depends on, you know, the way people consume things, and it'll be interesting to see how that changes. And you know, I haven't done a lot of live shows, so you know, maybe the same thing will happen. But yeah, I don't know.
What's
People
dope
would
is
be,
that
yeah, I'll just play it at the end so they have to see the whole show.
there you
and
go.
then they'll have to leave at the
That's a
end.
good idea.
That-
That's the way you have to do
There you
it.
go.
Yeah, that's that meme right there.
Yeah, time for the encore.
Yeah.
Right? I'll just play it again.
Yeah.
No, but I also do want to ask that we see you dominating in 2 different fields. I hit that already. Do you see yourself going back and forth? Like, I love music right now, and then maybe I want to dip back into acting in the future? Or are you just like, you know, I kind of want to just take this moment and take it step by step?
Good question. I think there's no real answer that I have to it, but they've always been really hand in hand for me because they just kind of serve 2 different parts and just fulfill me creatively in 2 different ways. So I love being able to bounce back and forth to it. I feel like Donald Glover is a great example of a guy who kind of can do
Yes.
both, and he's a writer, he's a comedian, he's a singer, you know, he's a producer, he's an actor. He does a lot of different
He's a
things.
lover. Like,
Yeah.
you go down the list. Down the
You
Glover does
keep
it all.
going, you know. And those are the, I don't know. A lot of creative people are not just creative in one way. So I think the luxury that you're given, but all that I've been given right now is just to be able to follow my creativity. So I just hope I can continue to do that. And you know, not everybody's going to like everything that you do, and just keep on following your nose. And I think that's how you'll create the best work also, is just if you're doing things that you're not really interested in, nobody else will be interested in it.
And what about for the people that have supported you from day one, whether it's your acting or whether it's this new song, they're sharing it and they're leaving comments and likes.
Yeah.
What do you have to say to them?
That just means the world to me, honestly. The fact that it's on any radio station or being shared between people is, kind of beyond me and so fulfilling. And I just feel like I owe a debt of gratitude to those people who take this thing in and share it, because I know personally I have that relationship with certain bands. Yeah. And there's nothing that's really stronger than the kind of discovery of an artist and connecting to the material and then sharing it. I feel like and it doesn't happen often.
Does not, dude.
You know, you
Been in
have
this
like
business for a minute,
4 of those, 3 of those in my life, I think, that I really have like that. So
What bands are you like so connected to?
man, I have like from different eras. I mean, there's a bunch of different ones. I think for sure when I was a little kid, like AC/DC.
Wow.
I was like, I found AC/DC and I just was. It was about the same time of watching School of Rock.
Okay.
And it just was like this awakening within me.
That's
I just
so gnarly.
really
I'm a
connected
new little man.
with. Yeah, and it's just like the power of like rock and roll, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Also, I remember like when Inner Speaker came out from Tame Impala, that was an album that was like, wow, what is this guy doing? And then the subsequent records that he released, it was, you know, I think I was like 17 or 18 maybe, and it really like spoke to a piece of me, kind of especially when Lonerism was released. I was like, oh wow, I just connected the lyrics. I think so yeah, I don't know.
But what does that mean to you to know that you are now that artist, that musician who's doing the same thing for other people?
I guess it's like to be on the other side. It's hard to even really know. I guess it's hard for me to even like realize it, but I'm appreciative, I guess. It's hard to really put it into words.
Well, here, I'm gonna put one more question out there. Either you put it into words now, or you tell us what happens to Vecna.
Oh, well, easy. Turn off the mics, I'll tell you. Give me a piece of paper, I'll write it down.
Oh, okay, we're going to get the behind the scenes.
No, you think I know? You think I know?
Blank page. Do what you want to do right there. No, I'm just playing.
Well, we cannot wait to find out.
I know. Honestly, me too. They keep it very tight. They keep it tight.
All right, let's be a crazy round table.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for spending the time with us.
So happy to be here.
This is
Yeah.
such a special
Thank you
moment.
so much
Cool.
that we get to see this side of you
Yeah,
in your
yeah.
space. We know you've been working on it for a while, so now you're seeing the numbers make sense and the shares make sense. And
Yeah.
It's kind of not making sense to me.
I know, right?
don't
Still
know.
not making sense.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, thank you so much just for
Yeah.
being you. Congratulations
Yeah,
on
thank you.
everything. We can't wait to see you. Just keep it going. We're going to be right here next to you, rooting you on. Congratulations, Joe.
Chinese the world.
Here in
Thank
the
you.
building.
From the top of the Empire State Building.
Z100.